became myself. Like, I really figured, like, that I have to be myself in order to, because you come to NID and you've been this the best artist in class, and you're the coolest as far as the drawing as far as drawing skills are concerned. But when you reach NID, everybody can draw, everybody can do whatever shit you were doing, like, so it is not like a very it's not an easy place to be. And then suddenly, everybody speaks in a language which you're not. I could speak English, but I was not really confident, and that was the main mode of communication. So for presentations and stuff like that. But I think it just the sheer amount of presentations. I used to be scared to go on the stage, but in one day, if you have to do 2 presentations in front of this class, like, I feel, and before that also social interaction every day. So that was also some sort of a presentation. You have to go up and do something, and there, so it is worse than a jury. So I really think I found myself in an ID. I mean, of course, one goes through the ups and downs. Like, I had my own set of problems at an ID, and some of you or most of you would be aware of it. But that's what makes you, like, you deal with these problems. At the same time, you have some sort of a, you don't have a goal, but you find your path somewhere. Yeah. So I think I found the path, and we'll talk about Rajkot as well, because I moved to Rajkot after NID, where a lot of people questioned that, but I was very convinced, because I was looking at the NID program, and we were talking about outreach and spread the word and stuff like that. I felt Rajkot is a place which needs design education, which needs designers to come in and and do something with the people there. And I am still running my design office there in Rajkot, and very happy. Only idiot who earns there and spends here, but like, it's the life that I've chosen. So, and I've started earning out of my art, which is
is it in Rajkot,
yeah.
that they call you Alan Shaw or Alien Shaw?
Alien, Alan Bhai Choti Wala, because I used to have a ponytail, or Bullet Wala Bhai, I used to have a bullet, so Bullet Wala Bhai. So, but it was like, Rajkot was fun. The experiences are different there, because you can get away with like, murder there as far as design is concerned. So you have to become your own critic. You have to analyze what you've done. You have to give yourself the feedback, because in the end it's your work. So you can make money out of it, but also, yeah, it's your image. So I've had, like, amazing experiences there, and I still love working there in Rajkot. Because people are amazing. There is one thing about Gujus, they don't know what good and all, like, I don't know, they travel so much, so they have some sort of a taste, which when you come to design, it shows big time. So yeah, that's my assessment of Guju land. But yeah, I am called Alan Bhai Chotiwada, Alien Bhai, Alien Show. Like, they cannot say Shaw. Sofa is Sofo. Loga is logo. Actually, logo, they call it Loga. Yeah. So Loga Banwano che.
How did you on to the journey to Berlin? How did you get to Germany?
That I will show in the presentation, but I will talk about it. Like, I met this girl, like, so ho gaya abhi, love ho gaya. So she was coming to India all the time. I was very happy with that deal. I didn't even have a passport. One day she told me, we were holidaying in some McLeodganj. A very nice setting, like, full Bollywood kind. And she asked me, Mr. Shaw, when are you coming to Germany? तो यार मेरी तो फटली, मैंने सॉरी मैंने बोला कि 11th of November ऐसा ही कुछ डेट दे दिया, एकदम वो थोड़ा शाहरुख खान मोमेंट टाइप ना, आ जाऊंगा मैं. And then I thought I mean, she will forget, but she's a German, she, like, very precise. So she went back and she started calling me up and said, well, when are you coming now? So I said, what coming, where, and all that. So I had to figure out a passport. This is September we are talking about. November I've given another date. Somehow everything managed. I mean, everything worked out. I landed up on the 11th of November, And so I came just to meet her. Then she tried working in India. It was very difficult for her because she's an optical engineer and it's a very new field in India. So, like, it was very, she worked for 6 months with a laser, a company which cuts diamonds with lasers, because optical engineering is in that direction. But it was very difficult for her to. I decided I am somebody who can move out because I like going places, like, traveling around, and I was more flexible, so I just came here. Yeah.
Alan, there's a part of section of your life which we missed, is that you went to Saint Stephen's also to study English.
English नहीं, history.
हाँ, वो कैसे, वो NID और वो बिहार के बीच में एक वो intermediary period था जहाँ पे काफी बदलाव आए तुम में, तो
of course, I never used to speak in English, so it was quite a different experience. You just land up in St. Stephen's College. I could speak in the sense you could put sentences together, but I could not hold a conversation. So landed up there, but what was very special about college was that they had these 50 running societies. There was a fine arts society, there was a Shakespeare society, there was a poetry society. So everything that you do as a hobby, there was a society dedicated to these things, and there were members, and you could be, you could become the president of that society, or you could become the member of that society. So it was extremely exciting to be in a space like that. I had basic difficulties, at least I had, when my brother said college ka crowd bada acha hai, so I used to think ki bheed hogi. When so these expressions like party will be on the beer will be on the house, so you feel that terrace pe party hone wali hai. So one learned the language, one figured out these things. Yeah. And I think history really helps, studying history in design, because when you are at the process state, the whole analysis, because history is like that. You take different points of view, it's of different people, and you make your own assessment of it. And I think there is a direct relationship with design. So yeah, I don't regret I went to college, but I'm glad that I left college after 2 years. Okay, Sajid. Yeah. Most of the questions that we had discussed earlier, I have made it the part of the presentation, so we can start sharing the screen, unless there is something else you want to ask.
Yeah, just for last one before you get to your work, we see a few themes which keeps repeating in your work. So, for example, cycle. Now you've got your daughter. You do a lot of stuff with. You're drawing. Then you've got the travel themes. You've got this fisheye with crowded spaces. Are these a specific set of things you work with, or what's your inspiration? If you can share that before you start. Your coffee stains.
Okay. See, the thing is that I don't stick to a style. I stick to a medium for sure. The watercolor is my basic medium, but I don't like being defined by a style, because it gets boring. I really feel that if you find a direction, you should go in that direction, and then you can always come back to what you're comfortable with if you don't like it, but you can have many branches. So I really don't feel like sticking to a style, because then you're defined by that, and you're controlled by that. But we are not like that. As people, we react to situations differently. Moods are different. So I find a thread. If it is interesting enough, I will keep it on. I started drawing elephants in tents in 2008. Now every year, every camping holiday, I make an elephant in tent. Because it's just become like a thing that I love finding it. So, or say for coffee stains, it was a mistake. It was when I put my coffee mug on my sketchbook, and I saw a bicycle, and then I thought it was good, because when you go to markets, or when you go into art exhibitions and you have your own stall, it's very silly to just sit there and wait for customers and people. That's not what you do. You paint all the time. So I think coffee is a very good medium. It's almost like performance. People like it. People are, "Arey yaar, magic kiya." But they don't realize कि ये बहुत साल से कर रहे हैं, तो it looks like magic, but it's just the sheer practice. Or I sketch almost every day. Not like I don't believe in a sketch a day or 5 sketches in a day. It has become a way of life. you would see that in some of the slides that it just you go with the flow. So yeah, that's the reason why I branch out into different things. Yeah.
Alan, you're the host now. You want to share the screen to show something, right?
Okay, I am trying to share the screen. Thailand is the word. Yeah. Okay, so I start with watercolors because I think it has kept me floating. It has kept me moving for a very, very long time and helps me. So this is a sketch I did in on a camping holiday in France, and I will talk a lot about. I love the fact that I traveled so much, so I will keep bragging about where all I went. Okay, so and then this is अरे move नहीं कर रहा है. Just 1 second.
Don't worry.
Hmm. Yeah. So this is day before yesterday. I just decided that I should I want to combine bicycles and watercolors. So this was something I just did day before yesterday, and yeah. I don't think much when something like this happens. It's just that you're sitting and you're getting bored, and then you have those sketchbooks. So, and design education comes really into play. Like this one was not possible without Mahendra Bhai. Like I really feel that the composition classes helped me a lot in my work today. Now, people don't get senti about the representation, but I'm a tribal, so like that's the way I had done this Jinka Chika Chika Bhavani. If it is there, we come from a tribe called Oraon, and we got converted to Christianity some 250 years ago or 300 years ago. I have no clue. But so I made my own story that one of my great grandfathers got a pair of canvas shoes to change his name from Rajat to Robert, and that's how I became Alan Shaw, or it's my real name. And so I made the story that somebody got a pair of red canvas shoes. So now I have this whole thing about red canvas shoes. Whenever I see them, it's like apna hi hoga koi. So I keep looking for them, drawing them. Now, when I talk about traveling, I also sometimes travel back in time because I really think, Sajid asked me about what has influenced me. My father was a priest. Missionaries ka ekdam se, what do you call, they dream come true ki isko convert to kiya, abhi priest bhi ban gaya. So his salary was 800 rupees a month. But what came along with it was something very special. There was this huge bungalow which belonged to the British priests in Bihar. So we lived in this amazing house, and we didn't have any toys. So if you look at I was learning how to cycle. I was playing with a catapult, and I was going fishing, and it was all I don't know. Growing up was fun when I look back because you figured life, and so when I talk about traveling, I also go back in time and I try to relive what had happened, and that's if you see on the left hand corner. Can you see my cursor?
Yep.
There's the new me drawing the old me in my sketchbook. So I was just trying to tell a story. This piece I did for my mother because she also really liked that house, and she talked a lot about that house later. So this is 2013. I visited that place. It's all like a little broken down and all that, but it was still nice to go back to Bihar to look at this because I think a lot of who I am today comes from this house because I was climbing trees, I was fishing, I was hunting with a catapult, and a lot of what I am today, like for example, fishing. I'll come down to that. It comes from here. So I keep going back. This is I think 2019. I went back in January because one of my uncles, he passed away. So I went back to the house and sketched it. That's just close up of that piece. So now I come back to sketchbooks and sketching. This is something I did in April. Now when I started keeping a sketchbook, it was an exercise in NID, or it was a feedback in a jury that Alan, you should keep a sketchbook like Prash does, and a lot of other people do. So, but you don't know when you start that you will end up having, like, next year I have 25 years of sketchbooks. So this is one of the shelves that I have at my place, and some of the books are lying in India. So I don't know. I mean, I've got something like 300 odd sketchbooks now, and it's like a treasure to have, because you can watch yourself grow in it. You can really see where you came from, and there are so many stories in between in them. And I think I mean, if I have to measure my success, this is what I have. If I have to say what I have achieved, this is what I have achieved over the years. I have a lot of stories, and a lot of pretty stories, a lot of sad stories in them. Then I was looking at watercolors. Somebody called this the Ambani house and killed the sketch. So, like, I'm sorry about that, but it was, I just put my watercolor boxes and I made a building out of it. And I have conversations with myself. I look at what I do. I look at people. I am not very technology oriented, although I use technology. I run an office which is in Rajkot, and that's how I manage. Yeah. And if you see this sketch, I'm just trying to say what it means to me. It's my laptop. And I talked about fishing, and I compare sketching to fishing, and it sounds good, but I actually believe in it, because as a kid, when I was going fishing, I could actually see underwater, and I could, after a point, when you concentrate so much that you could see, like, how the fish is going to take the bait. And now I compare sketching to fishing, because I feel that you do that on a regular basis. Sometimes you catch a small fish, sometimes you catch a big one, sometimes you just come home without anything. But there are days when you catch a goldfish. So, like, but the whole point is that you keep doing it. So it's not like, overnight something happened and I could sketch well. I've been doing this over the years, and every day you don't come up with something nice, or something which really moves you, or something that really excites you. But the whole point is that you keep doing it. So, that's me and my daughter fishing, actually. This was last year on a summer holiday. And then my wife calls me a fish, because I have this fish, I can draw this very warped perspective. So that's actually a selfie. That's me, my wife, and my child, and we were visiting friends. This I shared recently, this is the place where I used to have my studio in Germany. Now, like in Berlin, now I have shifted to this building. This was in a fishing village in Greece in I think 2017, or 2017. And when I came back, I made this piece and I sold it because it was a fishing village, and I really thought that the bend perspective, the fish, everything came together. So and then when you this was in Poland, and there are days when you cannot find a goldfish. So thoda vodka pine ka apne aap ban jata hai, goldfish comes. So sometimes you have to force yourself to find that goldfish, and you do. This is something I wanted to talk about, because most of us studied design, and I'm talking about NID people here. I had a residency in Finland on a raft. Now, the thing is, it sounds very good, it sounds very nice, and it was very nice, but how did I get it? When I saw this ad, I just said, ye to mere ko chahiye na. So how do I get it? So I wrote a proposal from the point of view that if I get this proposal, I should not refuse this proposal. And I was very sure I will get it, and I got it. So, it was an amazing residency. It was a pop-up thing for 2 weeks, and it was on a river, and there were 2 rafts. One was here at an abandoned campsite, and the other one was at the festival site, because this whole thing was a part of a festival called Faces. Now, the other raft, I had a boat which I could, if you see, there were these ropes, and I could send it to people and they could come to me and they could have a chat with me. So these kids came over, we had a little workshop together. I don't know, I was living a dream. I was reading about Huckleberry Finn or Tom Sawyer, and you know, one day I was on a raft like this. So I am terribly proud of this, but you know, to get here, I really think design education helped me, because that proposal was a bomb. Someday I will share that. Now this was in Switzerland, and I had, you know, this very typical idea about Switzerland, that there will be these black and white cows and there will be these very, like, you know, green fields, but I could not find them, so I painted my own. This was on my way to Finland. We were on a ship for 2 days. We took the ship, so because it got very exciting, like, you know, going there. So we just decided. But this sketch I have put because I feel that there's a lot of that meditative thing in it. You sit at one place, there is the sea. I mean, you see it for the whole day. But you know, when you look hard, then you can start painting. I mean, watercolors. If you ask me what I know about it, I know that you don't use the white because it makes the colors opaque. And the beauty about the medium is that it is a transparent medium. So how do you get the white? So you leave the white. So you have to start thinking negative. Like, you know, you have to start thinking in terms of seeing forms in the negative space. So when you come back to NID, you did space and form, and you were like, you know, you are so conversant with these terms, and you are aware of what you're doing. So it helps. So a lot of people ask me कि यार तूने तो NID में पढ़ाई की है तो ये पेंटिंग क्यों कर रहा है? So I think it's one and the same thing. I mean, if you really join the dots together. This was in Bosnia, in Sarajevo, and I like this again, Mahendra Bhai composition. I really think the lady there is that one tiny dot in the space that we used to put. This is Goa. This is not from a sketchbook. It's an illustration I did after coming back, but it is based on what I saw there. And like, you know, again, so composition is a very important part of what I do, because I think you know, we can paint the same subject, but it's the composition which really makes it different, or it stands out because of what it is. I call this one Fish and Happiness. This is in pizza in Italy. Why I have put this sketch is because, coming back to Sajid's question about styles, no, I was having dinner at this place, which was a very pretty square. There were a lot of these outside fast food kind of stalls, and I was having fish. But I wanted to sketch it at the same time, so I decided to use a pencil, which is like a glass marker. And then I dropped some olive oil in it. Then I smudged it, and it looked good. And then I made it into into a what you call a style. This was a market in France. I have put this one because I do a lot of these people observations, and you know, I again, a lot of people ask me ki, yaar, how can you paint so fast? And it's not painted fast. I think I painted this for 1 hour, and in a market, no, people keep coming back. Like, you know, they are there. They don't leave. So I remember, like, you know, the Suresh Emmanuel, he once told me, you know, that if you are sketching a tiger in a zoo, no, don't worry, it will come back to the position you started your sketch with. So it actually boils down to that. Now, this is a very interesting story about this campsite. When I was there for the first time, I was just painting the campsite and the people there and the tents there. And then the owner said, why don't you put up an exhibition? So I put up an exhibition and it was completely sold out. My first exhibition, which was sold out. So what is nice about this campsite is that I keep going back. And this is the third time when I was there. So what I did was I did this sketch in the marketplace, and you can see the sketchbook here. And then I made small postcards out of it. And what is, people think I have a lot of money. No, but this is the way you earn your money also, because, you know, you sponsor the entire holiday because you did these, this is inside the tent and I'm sketching there, and then you sell all of these guys, and you have the money back and sometimes more than you have the money to come back to that place. This was in Russia. I like this sketch just simply from the perspective of light, like, and it's a very fast sketch, but some days it happens the light is so beautiful that you can capture it fast in the way you saw it or in the way you wanted it. This is Prague, Charles Bridge, and why I am sharing this or why I share this slide is simply because there were a lot of artists painting this there. And, as a kid, I had seen this ad for Benzer saris. I don't know whether anybody remembers this brand called Benzer. And there was this one woman Indian woman wearing a sari in Paris or something. And there was an artist who was sitting in that same picture, in that advertisement. And the copy read, is he an artist on vacation? Or is he just a regular guy? I felt like being that man. I really wanted to be that person. So, I was so happy that to see all these artists sitting and painting this. But थोड़ी देर बाद ना, one of the guys came and said, "तू यहाँ से निकल, हमारा धंधा में problem आएगा." So I liked that. I took it as a compliment because there were a lot of people crowding around me when I was doing this. This is a very, very important page in my sketchbook, and I'll just talk about this because this was the move to Rajkot. I'll read it from the sketchbook only. I want to read this out. Sorry to take you through this. Leaving the city after spending more than 7 years, feeling strangely sad, nothing to look forward to, nothing to feel anxious about. The taxi journey with Pyare Bhai was cool, with the smoking up sessions in between. Was left at 4 Ravi Park with my luggage without any electricity. This would be my home. Spent the night smoking, sitting and thinking and singing to the mosquitoes. The silver candle gifted by Prachi was a saving grace. Life on my own finally begins. So, it is, I am so glad I have a recording of this because I had left everything and I wanted to go to a place where nobody knew me. And I landed up there without knowing why am I doing this, and not really convinced about it, but I've taken that step. But when you look back in retrospect, it's so nice to have this page. You watch yourself this. I love the last sentence. Life on my own finally begins, and I was in Rajkot for what good 8 years. And I was connected, but I was not socially connected. I didn't want to be connected with anybody. I just wanted to be on my own. And I think that was a period where it really healed me. For 8 years I was just working and I was just with myself. I became very selfish in a way also, but I think those 8 years in a space or a place which was so random like Rajkot really helped because I really started my life again, all over again. And I think I'm just happy having this little page in my sketchbook. Now, this is, I met this girl in Kutch. I used to work a lot in Kutch and for Kala Raksha with Judy Freighter. And I saw this girl there, she had long legs and very impressive. And I looked at myself, koi chance nahi hai, koi scope nahi hai. So abhi, what do I do? So I shared my sketchbook and it was like she was really interested. She put down her email address there and I was very upset. Who writes the email address on the next page on the sketchbook in that bad handwriting, and also such a strange, cool out for summer kind of. That's wife today. That's the girl I married finally. So I am very happy that I have a recording of the day I met her. That's just a cafe I frequent in Erlangen, the place where I used to live. It's called Cafe Beisel. This one was in Amsterdam, and I was on my way to Japan actually, and I had a 6-hour layover, whatever you call it, in Amsterdam. So I got off and I sketched some. And the thing about this sketch is that the cafe where I was doing it, the waiters were very upset because I occupied one table and it was business hours for them. And but then a lot of people joined that table because they wanted to watch me sketch and see the sketch. And in the end, I didn't have to pay for my beer, so I was very happy. I like that sketch from. This is Varanasi. This is just a friend who had a studio where my previous studio was. Her studio was next door. This is Dali's house in Spain. I put this sketch here to show off that I've been to Spain and all, and to Dali's house. But इधर थोड़ा MC एशर हो गया. This is something that I don't use, usually don't use an eraser or a pencil to draw. And if something gets like spoiled, I leave it because it's my mistake. It's okay. It's my sketch. There is nothing at stake. So yeah, that was that. This is again the fish in me. This was in Orvieto in Italy. What is nice about this sketch, or why I want to share this sketch, is my view just showed the facade of this church. But when you paint like in this perspective, you can include so many other stories, no? That's the reason why I like this bent perspective, because you actually bending time, because you've seen these structures before, but you want to you want to make it a part of this as well. So this is a nice way or easier way to do it. This is just my thing about Italians. They speak like with a lot of expression, like they're trying to they're trying to communicate with their hands more than they also they speak quite a lot, but yeah, this is just my impression. This was in Japan, and I just wanted to show the perspective again, the bent perspective, what Tokyo looks like. This is in Croatia. Here, I just wanted to because I was looking at the ocean for the longest possible time, and I was just thinking, yeah, God बनाएगा, हम तो Christian, हमारा God ना ऐसा कुछ होता है. तो वो without a चंपक तो बनाया नहीं होएगा ocean. So I was just wondering how they created the ocean. This was the sketch which got me to that illustration. I was waiting for my wife at a fish restaurant in Berlin. Uh, this is a slide which is very important in my life, because I also it's a thing that I do. I keep sketching, but I talked about fishing. Sometimes you catch a goldfish and you don't know. This I sketched in 2012 or 11 in Berlin. I was not living in Berlin. And then I came to live in Berlin, and I saw this girl, and she really sang well. I remember her name and everything. So I called out for her, and she was a little surprised who's this guy and all that. But then I shared the sketch with her on mail, and then we started collaborating. And when she had her show at the Folks Bune, I was called in as a special guest because I sketched her live there, and I think it's a very pretty sketchbook story, because you never know where one sketch can take you.